Hello and welcome back to the podcast. So today I'm really excited. We've got Sarah on and she's got a fantastic story to share with her journey from being quite high up in the Rotherham Council to unfortunately having a diagnosis that meant she had to step away from that, and sharing the full story of that diagnosis and what that journey is and what she's up to now as she's come out the other side. So welcome, Sarah, and thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story.
No problem. So I'm Sarah. I'm 47. I'm a mum of one biological child. Is my absolute world, and he's given me the most precious gift, which is my grandbaby, with help from my daughter-in-law, obviously, our Hugo. I'm also Auntie Sarah, godmother, foster mum to half of Rotherham, probably half of Doncaster now. I was born in Sheffield, but I've grown up in Rotherham, so Rotherham is where my heart is. All my family and friends are Rotherham based. And yeah, I'll be speaking about my journey today from healthy to ill and back to a new level of healthy in body, mind, and spirit, and the challenges that I've faced.
Brilliant. No, thank you very much for taking time out to share your story. So do you want to jump back to where your career started in Rotherham Council? And then
Absolutely,
we'll
yeah.
start from there, because that's pretty much the start of the journey, I suppose.
Yeah, it was. So I became a mum to Ben, and I was working at an egg factory actually, and I really liked environmental health. So I went to Rotherham, applied for a job, and was quite surprised that I got it, to be fair. But that was the start of my career. Absolutely loved environmental health. It was fantastic. They actually invested in me to go and do my master's degree as well, which led me into a fantastic career, really. So yeah, I loved working at Rotherham. Got a lot of experience there. Met loads of good friends. But a manager at Rotherham once said to me, "If you stay in the same place for more than 5 years within environmental health, you're not going to succeed and progress." So I took that on board, and I applied for a job at Doncaster after that, which was a bit of a pay increase, which was fantastic. And then, unfortunately, I got made redundant 2 months before my wedding, which was a bit rubbish. So I ended up working in London. So I used to travel down on a Monday, come back on a Thursday, do the weekend with my son. And my husband at the time looked after our son in the week. And then I got a promotion at Gainsborough, which was fantastic, and went into the management side of things. And yeah, I just absolutely loved environmental health, helping people in housing. So they're in poor quality housing, a lot of social problems. Children's services were invited in a lot of the time. And I spent most of my time in court prosecuting the naughty people and getting justice for the nice people. So yeah, it was a fantastic career, really. Absolutely loved it. And it all started at Rotherham. So thanks for that.
Yeah, I suppose that no day were the same then, because you could obviously good and bad and ugly, I suppose, of making sure that, well, yeah, everything should be as it should be, and if it's not, putting the things in place to make sure that they get put right.
Yeah, housing's a massive passion of mine. It probably still is, but unfortunately I can't do it at the moment.
Yeah.
But what I found was there's a lot of social problems and a lot of poverty in the areas where these landlords were sort of renting their premises out to. So we do a lot of referrals to social services. I was always nicknamed a social worker at work anyway, because I always wanted to go the extra mile and to try and help the social issues as much as the housing ones. Because you get the houses up to a standard, but if you don't deal with underlying issues, then they're just going to revert back into destitution, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's that passion of that, always wanting to help and give back? How did that serve you in that role? Because I suppose you must have stood out above most in that path, because like you say, you were deep diving into areas that you was really trying to make sure that didn't happen again, and like sorting out the problems that may be what followed from it. So obviously there's a root cause of why are we in this position, that, and then maybe landlords not helping and not putting things in place, and then people just get into that, I suppose they just get used to it and just put up with that situation.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what they do, is they just accept it.
And I suppose having an ear to a shoulder to lean on, really helped different people in that situation. So how did it ever affect how you like pursued things, or?
If I'm perfectly honest, it was. So I felt a little bit frustrated, I'm not going to lie, because the job was to get the houses up to standard, deal with the HMO licensing, make the referrals to the right people, and then move on to the next person. And I've always been one of them that looks at the bigger picture, wants to do a little bit more. And you've kind of got to stay in your own lane a bit, which I've learned over the coming years. But I just found it very hard because naturally I'm somebody that wants to help. So I found it a little bit easier when I got higher up, because then I'd be looking at MDT meetings and getting a collaboration of people that could support and help. And then we kept in touch with them and wanted to see the progress and got updates. So it was a lot easier then.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the frustrating parts about it. I went into environmental health to make a difference, which I did. But I feel like I make more of a difference now.
Yeah, with what you're doing. Definitely. So obviously the next part of your story is the diagnosis, and obviously through to the treatment and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you want to dive into when all that started, and then obviously what complications and the journey of what unfolded after that?
Right. So I became quite ill in 2013. So I was waking up in the morning in a lot of pain. My joints were aching. I wasn't sleeping particularly well. It got to a stage where my husband was literally having to lift me out of bed, help me down the stairs. It was horrendous. And I can remember walking to work one day and it took me about 2 hours. And I'm like, no, you've got to keep going. You've got to get to work. This needs to be done. You can fight this. You can fight this. And I got told it was fibromyalgia. Which in itself is a horrible disease. It affects you emotionally, it affects the pain levels, but there isn't anything mechanical going off as such. And that's not just to take away from people that suffer from fibro, because it is a terrible, horrible inflammatory disease, but there's no mechanical issues going on. So your joints aren't going to suddenly start crumbling, or you're not going to grow bone spares and things like that.
Yeah.
So I just got on with it, and I'm like, right, this is pain. It's not in my head, but it's pain. So if I can push through the pain, then I'll be fine. But I wasn't fine. And then I ended up, I think it was back in 2021 that I actually got a diagnosis. So it's a lot of years of battling. We actually got to a stage when I worked at West Lindsey where I did have to leave work due to ill health. And they were really supportive and really lovely. But at the end of the day, if I can't deliver a service, then what is the point in being employed by them? So I completely got it from a business perspective. And they were sad to see me go, but it was more of I like to fix things, and I couldn't fix me, and nobody was listening to me. And nothing was really working. So, I've always been quite a sociable person, but it got to a stage where I didn't want to go out with my friends. I used to make excuses, and I'm saying excuses, it was pain. So it's not an excuse, but I probably could have pushed myself through it, but it was like I didn't want to. Piled loads and loads of weight on, felt really terrible in myself, and just felt unheard. And there was one day that it got quite bad, and I phoned the mental health crisis team. And I think to this day, even my husband, and certainly my family, because I didn't go into too much detail, probably didn't realise how bad it was. And this podcast might bring it to the forefront, which is a little bit upsetting, but that's where I was at that point. And I think when you're dealing with chronic pain, anybody that's dealing with chronic pain in whatever form, it is absolutely debilitating, and it affects your mental health massively. Massively. So I left work, ended up going on to benefit. So 47 grand a year down to about £80 a week, which was a massive hit.
Yeah.
But my husband was really supportive. Family and friends were really supportive. I managed to find the most amazing therapist. Absolutely amazing. She's from Barnsley as well. Typical Barnsley lass. And we just got on so well. And she was really positive for me. So it took over a year. And support from family and friends, and particularly my husband, Adam, has been an absolute superstar. Even though he doesn't get it, he's trying to get it. And I think that's all you can do, really. Yeah. Is just try and understand and listen, and just be there for people when they need you. So Sorry, that's got. I feel a bit
No,
depressed
yeah.
now.
Sorry, yeah, no, I don't want it to upset you at all. But it's nice to share that story because hopefully somebody will to connect with that if they're going through something similar. And hopefully the rest of your story will be able to see there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So, no, yeah, I think it's obviously very emotional, and obviously it was a long time through that, from 2013 all the way to 2021 to actually get diagnosed and put things in place to actually work out what's going on with your body and how best to look after it. That's a long time to struggle with that. So it's obviously going to take a strain on anyone. So yeah, it's obviously not nice to hear and people get to that low. But hopefully your story will be able to connect with somebody, even if it's just one person. And to hopefully they can relate to it and see that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
There definitely is. I mean, I went to Rotherham Hospital, actually. I got referred there to an amazing rheumatologist called Dr. Garcia. Shout out Dr. Garcia. Absolutely saved my life. And every time I go for my results and my checkups, I tell her, and she gets emotional and I get emotional. And I just don't think she realizes like the impact that she's had on me. She's just fantastic. Yeah. So I had an MRI scan and they found ankylosing spondylitis, which is an inflammatory arthritis in my spine. But the lack of diagnosis really has affected my Achilles tendon. I've got bone spares in my foot, in my knees, in my ankles, in my shoulders. I am quite restricted in activities that I can do. And then they've put me on biological injections now, which is amazing. And we've gone through about 3 different ones, but we've found one that really, really does work for me. It doesn't get rid of the pain. I'm still in pain every day, but it's pain that I can manage. And it's just what it is. And you mentioned earlier about resilience. And I think you become resilient when you go through bad things in life, don't you? And ankylosing spondylitis isn't going to go away. But the fact that I'm being listened to and treated for it, I'm in a much better position than I were 10 years ago. Yeah. And I'm never going to be back to how I was. But I'm in a pretty awesome place, to be fair. So I'm thankful.
Yeah. So I think during is there any key moments during your like treatment journey that stood out, and what is it that you made, like what kicked in that resilience to keep you focused and keep going? What is it? Just something inside you that I've got to do this and I'm not going to let this beat me, or
I think it's a bit about
family and stuff around you keeping you motivated and going? What is it that kept you going?
It's a bit of everything. So I'm a 70s baby. So we were always brought up, if you had a pain in your leg, it's because you've got a bone in your leg, get to school. Like if you feel cold, just get your sent off there. My mum and dad have got a good work ethic, and I've always been brought up around that. And you can't change. Some things you can't change. And the therapy really helped with that. So it was highlighting the things that I can change and the things that I can't. And I am a bit of a control enthusiast, I'm not going to lie. So I like to control everything, but not in a manipulative way. I like to fix things, and I like to be able to do. And if I can't do, I get very, very frustrated. So it was a case of realizing what my limitations were, but looking at the positives of what I could actually do, and then focusing more on that. So I was in control of my weight, which is where I've ended up now.
Yeah.
I was in a good place mentally. I was very, very overweight. I looked grey. I'm not going to lie. I looked absolutely terrible. And I just thought, well, actually, I can control this. So I can control what I'm eating. I can control maybe not the exercise, but certainly what I'm putting into my body. I can control that. So I'm going to get onto that now. So that's what I did. Yeah. Just bear with me. I've got a few notes just so that I don't lose myself. So I went to a nutrition club, and it was the absolute best thing that I ever did. Absolute best thing. And I lost weight. I met friends. I was quite a scared, timid person in the corner. Now I'm dancing around every day, and my ADHD persona is coming out. And instead of being fearful of that, everybody's just embracing it. And it's amazing just to be embraced for being yourself. Like I've never really had that throughout school. I've always been a bit of the weird one. Whereas now people are actually enjoying me for me, which is brilliant. It gives you a right boost, doesn't it? And one of the other things that I've done, I've kind of skipped a little bit. We wanted to go into fostering, me and my husband, but when I was ill, the fostering people came out, said everything looks fantastic on paper, but you're not in the right place to foster because of your health. Yeah. Fair enough. But they mentioned this thing called shared lives, and I'll be forever grateful. So shared lives is throughout the country, really, but they've got one in Barnsley, Rotherham, Sheffield and Doncaster, and we're Doncaster based now. So we basically foster adults with learning disabilities, offer respite to adults with mental health needs and learning disabilities and autism. And yeah, it's just amazing. So physically, I can't get down on the floor and play with children, but I can deal with the emotional side of things through shared lives, and I can help them deal with the trauma of their past. And I think going through what I've been through as well has made me a little bit more empathetic to people's struggles.
Yeah, you can understand.
So
yeah.
So that's my main job. That's what I've been doing for 5 years, and I absolutely love it. But then I found this nutrition club, and I was like, I'm never opening my own club. I mean, you've done a podcast with Emma; she was my upline. I'm not opening my own club. I ain't got time for this. Blah 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 blah. And anyway, I opened my own club in April, and I absolutely love it. I think the main thing to reflect on is get the support that you need yourself and prioritize you.
Yes.
And I never prioritize me. I look after everybody else. But if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after other people. It's as simple as that. And it took me a long time to realize it. I've been told it so many times by my mum. She'll be like, yeah, I've been telling you that for years. But until it actually clicks in your head and you start doing it, you don't realize how much you needed it.
No, I think that's the same in any sort of personal or business life. You can go on all these training days and speak to speakers and guest speakers and go webinars and all these other communities that are involved with whatever path you're in and whatever industry you're in. I go on quite a lot of training with what I do, and you go on training days and you hear similar things, and it's not rocket science. The models are there, and if you follow it and you stick to it, there's a proven path. It's keeping consistent and relating back to them points when they're relevant to you and wherever you are in your journey. Because when you well, I've done this a few times now. When I've heard that before. I know I should be doing that. Yeah, I've heard that before. But at that point, when I heard it 2 or 3 times before, it wasn't relevant because that's not where my business was at that time. But now, as you progress through whatever industry or what personally or business, it relates back to actually that I can connect with that now because that's where I am on that journey. And it's every time you say I've heard this 100 times, and like I said, definitely my mum used to say that as well. I've been telling you that for years. You should listen to me because I've done this, been there, done that, and which they have. But it's got to be right for you at that time. And when it is right at that time, then you connect to it. And actually, I should have. And you wish then that you should have done this maybe 6 months ago when they told you last time. But it just all clicks into place, doesn't it?
I think though, do you know if you did it when they first told you 6 months ago, or however long it was, you wouldn't have had the learning that you've obtained in that 6 months while you didn't listen to him.
Definitely.
So in actual fact, it's quite a positive thing to not listen because you learn yourself, don't you?
Of course you do. And everyone learns differently. So, but you hear the same things when you go on these training days and whatever else. I've heard it numerous times. It's like, I've heard this before, I've heard it before. But even when people like say you read a book and you can read the same book 4 or 5 times and take something different away from it every time you read it because you relate to different things at different times in your life.
I completely agree with that. I mean, that's it's the case for the nutrition club as well, because we invite people to it. We invite for these daily wellness evaluations that are completely free, and then we give people the opportunity whether they want to sign up to plan or not. There's no pressure sales or anything like that. I don't work like that. It's just about giving people the opportunity and then allowing them to make a decision. And it might be the right time for some people today. That person might come in 3 weeks' time because it's the right time then. They might ignore me for 3 years. Yeah. But as long as I'm available and giving them the information, they will come to me when they're ready. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. So obviously coming out of the other side, we've done the treatment, we've understood what you can and can't do, and you've got that resilience. Right, I'm focusing on what I can control.
Yeah.
What made, obviously, Emma's told me a little bit of your story, and the community that they've got down there is phenomenal. Because Emma's still messaging me now saying, "Oh, have you spoke to this person? Have you?" You see everything that they're doing online, and it's definitely a community that they've grown in Newday, and it's fantastic. But you can definitely see that it's helped you, and you've gained your confidence back, and you've come out the other side, and now you've gone on and started your own club up. So what made you click and say, "Oh, actually, I'm gonna do this as well"?
It's just seeing the opportunity. And the thing is, I love Emma to bits. She's a working mom. She's got 4 children under 5. And she's just inspirational. And I think when you're surrounded by inspirational, positive people, it just makes you feel like you can do anything. It really does make you feel like you can do anything. So I started getting people into club. People were sort of sending messages to me and buying me little presents and sort of saying, "Oh, we love how you are, Sarah." And it just seemed so alien to me. I was like, why have these people been so nice to me? Like, I don't see what they're seeing. Because I'm usually the one that helps other people and builds everybody else up. And my family and friends build me up, but nobody outside of that circle really does until I went to the nutrition club. And I'm like, wow, this is just amazing. And then we went to a few events and you've got thousands of people that are positive and building you up. And it's like, wow, this is just fantastic. It's amazing. And then I spoke to my husband. He's like, we can do this. And I'm like, do you know what? I actually think we can do this. So I've got his support, because there's some days, like I'm in my boot at the minute. I have got rid of my mobility scooter, which is fantastic, because a year ago I relied on it. But I have got my crutches by my side. And that's fine, because if I can't do something one day, I just ask Adam and he'll come and support me. Or I've got coaches in club that support me. So you've just got to lean on people, and I'm very bad at that. I was very independent and thought I could do it all myself. Yeah. And now I realise I could do so much more with their help.
Yeah, leverage is massive, and nobody succeeds on their own. And I think I see that a lot. Nobody succeeds by themselves. They've always got somebody to help in them, whether that's in the background and you don't really notice. And I think it's that big old thing on social media now, isn't it? That you see all the positive things of, look at how fantastic that person's doing, and they're smashing business, they're doing this, they're really busy, look how much money they're making. But it's not just that one person that's making all that happen. It's everybody in the background, their support network, their friends, families, other colleagues, everyone else working in the background to support that person or people, depending on the business, to push that forward. And if you've got that community and network to be able to lean on when you need to, it can only go one way.
And I think social media's got a bit of a part to play in the negativity side of things, because
definitely
everything is so positive on there, and my life's wonderful, and I've done this and I've done that. And actually, that's not real life. So sometimes you need somebody just to be honest with you and go, do you know what? Our business is going really well at the minute, and it is. And I can just see a brilliant future for it. But there's days when you think, well, do you know what I mean? It's not gone too well today. And it's about being honest with people and just being open and transparent, because anybody can go on social media and make it seem like it's an amazing time 24/7. And it's not. Life is not like that.
No, it's not.
Sometimes you just need a bit of realism in your life as well.
You definitely do. And any business owner will definitely be able to relate back to that, because one minute it's brilliant. It's definitely a roller coaster journey being a business owner. You have plenty of highs and lows, but hopefully you get that eventually. You get that steady line. But anything, life is life, isn't it? And you never know what's around the corner.
You don't. And that's why we've, like, as much as people will say, you're doing too much, it might first appear that I'm doing too much online and when you see things that I'm posting, but I've got a massive support network behind me that are really, really helping me. And I don't like to talk too much about my struggles, because I just think it's negative, and what's the point? Like, just get on with it. But if anybody did want to talk to me about it, I'd tell them really what it's like. But don't just look on socials and think that everything's perfect, even with myself, because it's really not. I mean, there's nights when I don't sleep. I'm constantly on pain relief all the time, but life, I'm not dying. I ain't got anything terminal. So you just got to be thankful for what you
You've
have.
always got to pull the positives out of any situation, which you've done a fantastic job of.
Good therapy.
No, but again, that's leaning on the professionals and that support to be able to make sure, because like you say, unfortunately, some people bury their head in the sand and don't reach out and get that support, and that can go very south very quickly. It just proves that when you need to speak to somebody, and it's different for everybody. When you need that support, you need to ask for it.
And the thing is, there's waiting lists for mental health, isn't there? There's massive waiting lists, but there's really good things out there, like Andy's Man Club is amazing. There's loads of different charities that you can lean on, and anybody's welcome to message me anytime if they haven't got the family and the friendship support groups, because in our nutrition club, it is not just about losing weight, although we're very good at that. It's also about improving your mental health, improving your nutrition in your body, improving sleep, skin, lots and lots of things. So I'm there for anybody that needs to reach out for a first chat.
Yeah, because I think it's all about your mindset and obviously nutrition, but that connects to everything else that your body does.
Absolutely, it does.
That's why you've got to include all of that elements, because if you're eating junk food all the time and greasy and high sugary stuff, your body gets used to that and you feel down and in the dumps and put extra weight on, and you get depressed.
Yeah.
When you start eating healthier stuff, you feel there's more energy, there's more, you've got that next life, that next reese of, I can't get my words out. You get that, you're more confident, there's more energy, and you've like, I can do this, and you get that bit of a buzz back, and you spring in your step again, I suppose.
Yeah, you do.
But everybody's body is completely different, and it's trying to find that path for that individual and their body type. Like I say, it all connects to what exercise they do, what they do and don't do, what they can and can't do, what they eat. Like you said, you touched on it earlier, of who you surround yourself with. If you're surrounded by loads of negative people, chances are you're going to be the next negative person in that group. If you surround yourself with a lot of positive people, if you are in the middle and slightly negative, you will eventually become a positive person. And definitely, your network and that support that you've built is obviously, hats off to you, because you live in proof of it. It definitely does work.
We've actually got a community interest company. Can I just mention that? Because I love them all to death. So what we noticed when we started Shared Lives is that there was no real safe place for people to go to socialise. There are a few things out there, but for them to come with their families. So if you can take somebody with a learning disability and drop them off and leave them, fantastic. There's lots of things for that. But if that person has got physical disabilities or can't be left on their own, there didn't seem to be much around for people like that. So we've set up a community interest company. So we do bingo, disco, karaoke. It's called Cattell's Care. And we do it every Tuesday at Waggy's at Edenthorpe. They're wanting us to do more nights because they absolutely love it. And everybody that attends, we went from, I think, 2 or 3 people that turned up to 60 now. So we've got mums and dads that come and have a drink. We've got all abilities. We've got access via wheelchair, and we have such a great time. It's amazing. We don't take any profit from it. Everything goes back to them. So we've got a few ice cream vans come in, and we've got a summer party coming up. And and Tuesday nights is the most tiring day, because I'm up at 5 and we don't go to bed till 10. But it's the most rewarding day as well. It's just ace. I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing that because of, let's say, right at the beginning of the journey, you was wanting to help people and and that's what you were doing in your main career before the diagnosis. And you've obviously done a full 360, and you've worked out what works for you, and implemented it. And every day I suppose it's that cheesy line, doesn't it? If you enjoy what you do, it doesn't seem like you're going to work every day. But look at that smile on your face. That says everything, doesn't it? If you obviously enjoy what you do and you've got that spring back into your step because you're doing something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of my environmental health career. It was 20 years, and I did some really good work. And like I said, I got my master's degree, and everyone were really proud of me. But my mum is still really proud of me now. So I suppose if you say, "Oh, I'm a manager in environmental health, and I run a nutrition club and a charity," but I've never had as much joy as what I'm doing now, and that's what matters more than anything.
Of course, it does.
Yeah.
So, what's been the biggest like learning that you've taken away from the full journey that you can that you now implement into your day-to-day life or weekly life, to say that I'm guessing that you still, a lot of people in your situation will be hard on themselves, and how
I am. I'm still hard on myself at times, but it's just the support network. It sounds so easy, and it's not always easy to get. It's not always easy to find people that you click with, that get you, that'll deal with you on bad days as much as they'll deal with you on good days. And there's plenty of people out there who won't have that support network, and I can see how difficult and just tiring that must be, because I felt that I was in that place. However, seek professional support first, get your head sorted out, and then you will be surprised at how many family and friend members do want to help or are interested in you in that way. Because I tried to protect a lot of my family from it because I didn't want them to get upset. So there's plenty of professionals out there. Seek professional advice, please. That's the first thing you should do. Any positive support, grab it with both hands. Anybody negative in your life, and this sounds easier said than done, you're going to have to walk away from them. You're going to have to walk away. I've had friends in the past who would take from me. And because of my generous nature, I was give. And it got to a stage where I had to go, right, is this benefiting me? No, it's not. Am I actually getting anything from this person? And I don't mean monetary, but just listening, phone calls, whatever. Well, actually, no. So I have to take a step back. And it was one of the hardest things, particularly with one friend, because of the children. I don't get to see the children anymore. But I just thought, I need to look after me. I am the priority now. I need to be in the best place possible to be able to help everybody that I want to help. So I have to make this hard decision and distance myself from these toxic relationships, really. And it's hard, but I did it. And
I've heard a number of people that have said that, because obviously you go through school with these friends, and you all go and you don't do your own thing, and you know who your true friends are. I've got friends that I know that I've probably not seen them since I got married. But if I need to ring them, they're on the end of the phone. And if I need to go for a beer with them or go for a chat or whatever, and vice versa, I know that I can rely on them, even though we don't speak every single day or every week like we used to do when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You've got them connections, and then at the same time, there's them people that take, and they don't give anything to that relationship. That you do just need to cut them ties, because you need to, like I say, you have to put yourself first.
You've got to know what your worth is. Yeah. That was the biggest thing, is realising. Everybody used to say things to me all the time, really positive, and I'd be like, oh yeah. If they said my dress looks nice, I'd be like, oh, we're only a £5 from Primark. Like I never embraced any positivity, really. I'd always make an excuse, or be like, oh yeah. Well. Whereas now I've learned to say thank you. Like if somebody says something nice, thank you. And it feels so awkward to say, because it don't come naturally to me.
Yeah.
And I've also started saying yes more. And my husband gave me that advice. He said, if you get invited to anywhere or you're asked to do something, say yes. Because saying yes gives you opportunities that you never knew even existed. And it's true. They do.
No, I've heard that on another podcast that I listened to, and they did a year of yes. This guest, that's how she did it. A year of yes. Anything that comes my way, I'm just going to accept. Good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, it will definitely open doors and other opportunities to me. And she said that I wouldn't be where she was in her career if she didn't say yes to all those things that she said yes to. And she just did a year of yes. And she said it's completely changed her life and her professional career as well.
I think your path's laid out for you. And yeah, a lot of people might not agree with that, but I honestly do. I think your path's laid out for you. And if you open yourself up to the opportunities and the bad things, like you've just said, and the good things, then you will just go along your path in the way that you're meant to. You just got to have faith in yourself and the universe, really.
Yeah, I think
which a few people might think, oh, that's a bit weird.
No, but yeah, I think everything happens for a reason. I'm a strong believer of that, and everybody's life and journey, and everyone has good and bad days. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. But yeah, the universe is weird, and life definitely throws you some curveballs sometimes. And I know everybody will be able to relate to that in some shape or form. It's how you deal with it, what the people you've got around you, how you come out the other side. How you actually deal with it. So I think that covers off my next question. Really, is what's the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself in that journey? I think you've pretty much covered that now. So what does the future look like? What's next? Because you seem to be doing 101 things at the moment.
I've not mentioned a couple of them, to be fair, but one thing that I miss is I'm going to give a shout out to Rotherham Dance Centre, if I may, because I have been going to that dance centre since I was a little girl, and I've had to stop due to my condition. And it's the one thing that absolutely breaks my heart. I've got my point shoes at the side of my bed. I look at them every morning. I can't get in them. I'll never be able to dance again like that. And it's took a few years to get my head around that. However, some of my little kids are going to that dance school. So I went and helped out on the show. So we did backstage, went and watched it. We do all the activities that they do with the girls. So I'm still actively involved, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's the case of not looking at what you can't do. It's what can't you do yet, potentially work towards it, or what you can do that looks different to how it used to do. So I can still actively be involved with Rotherham Dance Centre, which has got my heart, even if I can't dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it still upsets me to know that I can't do that. But like I said, I'm here, I'm living life, and there's worse things that could happen, isn't there? Definitely. So yeah, anybody in Rotherham or DC is the place to go. She'll look after you.
And that covers me into the next bit. Is there anybody that you want to shout out that has helped you through your journey other than the dance?
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that you want to say thank you and being part of your community and your support work?
Obviously, New Day.
New Day, definitely, yes.
New Day, definitely. And the whole organisation really that we work for. I've got my best friend Andrea, she's just the most amazing person ever, and she's always been there, even when I've been low. She's a Rotherham girl. She works for Rotherham Council. And she's just adapted to me throughout it all. She's been there throughout everything. I actually had another best friend who she died of leukemia just short after we got married, but she attended our wedding. And Andrea will always remember her and bring things that remind me of her. And she's just the most amazing person. I'm godmother to her children, and I just love her to bits. Faith, who's one of my trainee coaches, she's like my adopted daughter. She's the only one that can ask me if I need to change my HRT patch. We've worked out that if my husband asks me, that's not good. Right. Faith will have to ask me, and then we get it all sorted. And just my son and my daughter-in-law and my little grandbaby Hugo, because he's just absolutely made 2025 the best year yet.
Brilliant.
Oh, and the husband.
And obviously that goes without saying. So if anyone wants to get in contact with you or connect with you, what you are doing, and wants to get involved in any of the ventures that you're doing, what's the best route to get hold of you and reach out?
So Facebook, email, or phone number. So if you go on to Achieve Nutrition, which is on Facebook, or you can go on to Sarah Cattell, and you'll see my page attached to that. Or you can email me at cattellscare@outlook.com, or give me a ring on 07 450 221 979.
Perfect.
And yeah,
I'll grab all that from you and get them into the show notes so people have got easy access so they can reach out on Facebook, etc. for you. And yeah, a huge thank you for coming on today and sharing your story. I'm 100% sure that somebody will connect, and I'm sure we're going to get some great feedback from this one. So yes, thank you very much.
Amazing. Thanks for letting me come on.
No problem at all. And enjoy the rest of your day. And then, yeah, I look forward to hearing from you in the future to see what else you're up to.
All right then, Daryl. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.